that Donald Trump is a lunatic. So you guys are having this conversation. This normal politician, oh my God, she might not be good enough. Wow, she's running with joy. That sounds like Hitler. All these kind of loony things that you guys are all saying. When the other guy's a lunatic.
So just a bunch of lunatics on the screen. So, okay, let me just start with saying this. Number one, that whole tip about, the Joy campaign is of, it's, a certain kind of NAZI propaganda and all of this. I think it is ridiculous. I think any conservative that's pushing that message right now, let it go. You sound crazy, okay? But Cenk also sounds crazy about calling Trump a lunatic. I kind of wish he was still a lunatic. I kind of do, because the message has been so watered down that I don't even know what I'm dealing with anymore. But believe me, there's nothing lunatic about Trump right now, okay? So, and conservatives, please stop with this, because it's making y'all look bad. I'm talking about like the conservatives we see on television, not the regular people, but excuse me, television. I don't watch TV. So I guess Fox News is doing this too. So yeah, so the conservatives we see, this is corny.
He thinks we should terminate the Constitution. He thinks that all of our crowds are AI-created images. He believes absolutely insane things, thought that his vice president deserved to be murdered by his supporters. And we're having a nonsense conversation about Kamala Harris.
This is why when Cenk talks, I feel like I keep stopping the clip. I'm sorry. But he does this so much that Anna had to even check him on this one time. He puts words in people's mouth. By the way, guys, if you like the video, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you so much, everybody who watches. Thank you. What? Trump never said that Pence needed to be ended. Let's not do this. That never happened. And this is how people like me back in the day used to believe some of this stuff when I would hear these lies coming out of CNN before I knew about fake news and all of this. I mean, come on. You can't just loosely quote people to that point, because he never said that. He never said that.
Running with joy being a bad thing? And guys, there's a lot of reasons that she does that. But one of the reasons is to juxtapose the hatred from the other side, which you guys are amply displaying. The other side's like, oh my God, everybody's the enemy. The immigrants are the enemy. The Democrats are the enemy. Oh, they're killing babies after they're born. All this lunatic talk. So go ahead, run your mouth about Kamala Harris. But at the end of the day, Donald Trump's still a lunatic, and the country doesn't want an unstable madman like that who doesn't even believe in America. He thinks we should terminate our Constitution. He had no problem trampling our democracy. I'm not letting that clown come in here and destroy this country.
You can always tell when somebody personally does not like Trump, okay? Just so you know, I've met people like this in my life personally. Like they didn't, like I met this one guy after J6, he called me a Russian ass. Sorry. Anyway, sorry. So this guy hated Trump, but he's like, I went to the same school. I grew up in the same neighborhood as Trump or something. Like he knew his cousin or something. Trump thinks he's all that. He's not all that. And I'm like, these arguments are weird to me. Like even, I don't know how I got caught up in the Trump is racist thing. Because after a while, I was like, who cares? Like, I'm not eating dinner with him. Now to sit there and say he hates the country, really? Like he doesn't even Cenk, that's emotional. Like I have my issues with the man right now, but let's have a serious conversation. I hate when people do that. Like just because you have issues with somebody and then you don't, you sit there and you talk trash or or whatever else. You just say emotional things.
All right, Vinny Oshana, he's a clown. He'll destroy the country, an 800-pound gorilla. This is apparently these are the nice guys spreading joy.
Yeah,
well, you guys are super nice.
I have to say this, Piers. Emily, you kind of brushed over it, love, and I think you should have stayed on it. Emily's a Jewish girl, and she mentioned the strength through joy was 100% hijacked from the Nazis. It was in 1933. I have to read this, Emily. Hold on one second, guys.
Total
I actually want to read this because Emily's right.
Total insanity.
They ripped a Nazi. Hold on, Cenk. I didn't interrupt you. The Nazi labor campaign of 1933, that's it. It was set up as a tool to promote the advantages of Nazism.
Now I got to sit there and edit a bunch of stuff. Go ahead.
So whoever's coming up with this joy campaign, they should do a little bit more research. And you know what? instead of going Trump and talking bad about, I don't know Anthony, I know Cenk and I respect Cenk. We disagree politically, but let's talk about the actual State of the Union right now, Piers. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but an American Jewish hostage was murdered by Hamas. That just happened a couple days ago. And also, the Hells Angels are en route right now to Aurora, Colorado, to stop a Venezuelan brutal gang, and the gang is called Tren Aragua, because they've taken over apartment complexes. They're sex trafficking women. They're doing drugs. The FBI's not doing nothing. The mayor's not doing nothing. The governor's not doing anything. Why is all this happening? You know why? Because Joe Biden is on vacation. He's still on vacation. 40% of his administration. Kamala Harris is in a just going around with her support human being. Who's actually running the country right now? Everybody's worried about the future and Trump, and he's such a threat to democracy. Why did he do all that stuff in the 4 years that he was here? I'm genuinely curious. All this threat and all these problems. Name one thing that was, oh my God, a threat to democracy. What was it? And what is Kamala going to do? I want Anthony and Cenk to tell me what's one thing.
Yeah, that's all he ever says. But he's right about the Venezuelan gangs, that they're taking over these apartment complexes. And Cenk knows this because he was complaining about it on Twitter. So what is going on? This is what the country is right now, where you have gangs coming across the border, taking over what is happening in America? And don't think that it's not going to spread its way up to the north. My issue, though, what I'm afraid of, is I don't hear Trump talking about those military-style deportations deportment anymore. Like deporting people, military-style deporting and all that. I don't hear it anymore. So I don't know. He's saying that we're going to take more people in, but legally, we can't take anybody else in. Like we can't. So I don't mean to make this against Trump. I'm just saying, but right now Trump is not president. I would respect that. The military should be at the border. Yes, because we have gangs taking over apartment complexes they're from other countries, and they're here illegally. And I'm not trying to jump on the next headline, but one time is too much, right? Because the thing is about these kind of headlines is, like, people will keep talking about it and they'll make you think that it's happening all day, every day. But this is one of those where I'm like, one time is too much, so I'm going to touch it.
What's one thing? Hold on. What's one thing Kamala, people are going to vote for Kamala for? Anthony, just random. What are you going to vote for Kamala Harris for?
Vinny, you've asked lots of questions there. I would say clearly what happened personally on January the 6th was an attack on democracy. When a very large mob of people attack the Capitol and start calling for lawmakers to be hung because they're trying to reverse an election decision.
I just wish we just didn't talk about January 6th, because we can't really talk about J6.
That's an attack on democracy. You can spin it any way you like, but it is. But Anthony,
that's an attack on democracy, but the anti-Semitism bills, they're not an attack on democracy, right? The laws, the Patriot Act, those things that they keep adding more to it, by the way, the strategy to combat domestic terrorism, which basically says if you go against the government, you're a domestic terrorist, right? The strategy to combat anti-Semitism. Yes, I'm bringing that up, right? But see, again, Trump he's down for this stuff too, so it's like, I don't know, right? But that's not a threat to democracy. The FISA court, that we don't need warrants now to come. They can spy on you. Really? You want to tell me a few farmers that, yes, okay, they got a little buck, right? Which one is the bigger threat?
Let me ask Anthony the second part of that, because I'm sure he would say the same. Very interesting question Vinny raised you there. Who is running the United States? I felt very strongly when Kamala Harris effectively sailed through as the nominee. It was clearly a party machinery operation to get her the nomination as fast as possible. Would it not have been better for America if the Vice President of the United States, in that situation, who's now the official nominee, actually replaced Joe Biden as President of the United States? It's very, very odd as a non-American who loves the country, has a home there. I was there for several weeks in August, to see endless pictures of Joe Biden on the beach and Kamala Harris meeting world leaders It's very odd. It's strange. It doesn't seem to make any sense. Do you think it's right and proper what we're seeing now?
Well, listen, what I think is right and proper is actually never going to happen. I have to deal with the world the way it is.
But what do you think is right and proper?
But
that implies you agree with me.
To answer Vinny's issue, okay, I don't like seeing what's happening in Aurora, Colorado, but I saw Donald Trump in the Situation Room, and I understand the mechanisms of his personality and the impetuosity and the lack of curiosity and no executive management skills. And to what Cenk is saying, I would take a more garden variety politician who will follow the rules-based society. I don't.
So let me help you with what he's saying. He's saying exactly what Republicans are saying. I don't know Anthony Scaramucci. You guys will have to let me know if he is a Democrat or a Republican. But I feel like he's a Republican who is a never Trumper. Okay, but he is on Kamala's side, if you will. So he does speak fondly of Kamala because he says this really weird thing that Kamala Harris would scare the world leaders, more than Trump, which is absolutely insane to me. But he says he wants the more garden variety politician who will follow the rules. You know what that means? Go along with the establishment. Whatever the establishment wants is whatever the establishment will get. That's exactly what that means. Because when you say no 2 times, you've effectively become some sort of what they'll call a crazy person, unhinged, because you didn't go along with the establishment. You even see this at work. I remember I was at a job, and I remember that they were having some meeting about how to do admissions more effectively. And me, who was doing admissions, I'm sorry, y'all probably like, what is she saying? Just bear with me. Who was doing admissions. Like, I used to do these admissions, admitting in patients, for those who don't know, I'm a nurse. And I used to do these admissions, I would have like 4 admissions and I banged them out because I had my own system. I came up with my own system, bang them out into a T. I could do it with my eyes closed. They did not invite me to the meeting. So then I was saying to one of the nurses, like, I don't understand how come I wasn't invited to the meeting. And the nurse said, well, they wanted a certain kind of person there. And I was like, what, somebody who's not going to talk back? And she was like, I mean, yeah, they don't still want any trouble. Yeah, because I don't go along with the establishment. They don't want me there. This is what this guy's saying. We want more garden variety establishment type of politician. And you can tell. And unfortunately for me, I feel like that is what's happening with Trump. He's sounding like that. Not 100%. I'm not going to say the whole way through. But he's sounding like that enough for me where it makes me concerned, where I'm like, stop pandering to the left. Like, they're not going to like you anyway. Again, with the thing about taking in people we're going to have more jobs and we need to take in people from other countries. And that is India. This is where they're going to come from. They're already coming anyway. This just doesn't, I don't hear drain the swamp. I don't hear it anymore. I don't hear a lot of things. And I feel bad because this guy did go through a very, very serious situation. He almost lost his life. And so I don't want to be one of those people who just act like that doesn't mean something. But this is what the establishment machine, and I'm going to use that, on both parties, they want the garden variety. So and on the other side, they're talking like this too about Kamala. You just have 2 people who are fighting for the middle.